students, welcome to this new topic, supply chain management basic concepts. In this video, we will look into the various basic concepts which is contributing to the supply chain management will be discussed. Before going deeper into those concepts, we should first know about what are all the important concepts or the definitions or the meanings about supply chain management. Supply chain management is not only the process, it is also the very important planning section. When the manufacturers are sending the material from one place to the other place through various planning sections. For example, the goods will be traveled from the manufacturer to the retailer or to the end users or to the wholesaler or to another one more manufacturers. Everything will be put together in the form of retail and supply chain management. And where it is starting from, where it is moving, that started here as a supply chain. And this supply chain should be dealt very clearly by all the retailers, especially those who are meeting the customers nowadays with retail strategies. If they are not properly doing it, then this becomes a big issue for them. Their entire retailing market will be trashed because the proper time of delivery to the end customer is nowadays focused. That is supposed to be the key point every person in the retailing industry is expecting. The Flipkart or the Amazon or any other retailing industries, those who are running in this particular field will focus on this flow of goods. This flow of goods, where it is going from and where it is reaching, is monitored very keenly by even the consumers nowadays with the applications of that particular company. The raw materials from the manufacturers, it should pass through various channels like intermediaries and other suppliers, and it will reach to the manufacturer. End product will be sent by the manufacturers either to the wholesalers or to their distributors or to their retailers, and sometimes from the factory outlet directly it is going to the end customers. So the supply chain is nothing but connected by agents, transportation and storage activities, which is integrated through sharing of information like planning and processing activities to make the flow of goods from one end to the other end. The term retail, we have to recall it here, to final sales to consumers who are customers or the end users. However, business also purchases through retail supply chains. Retail transactions can be identified as earlier matter I discussed with you. Business to consumers, that is B2C, or it may be business to business, B2B. Because the supply chain for consumers can be long and lengthy, and they consist of both B2B links like those between the first and the second tier suppliers, and B2C links like those who between the retailers and the customers. You can witness this supply chain. People will be adding us in so many groups, and they will be in turn posting the post which they received from any of these Meesho apps or any other apps. Those things, Myntra, all those things. So these people will just order it. We will be ordering to the WhatsApp number, and these WhatsApp number people will send the order to the person, those who are manufacturing or those who are supplying it. He may be sitting in Surat or Mumbai, somewhere like that, and he will be in turn informing the particular WhatsApp number operators, and those people will receive the material and reach us. Sometimes they will not directly give the address of the people. They will keep hold of it, and they will be appointing some people. If they are doing it in a lump sum, they will once again resend it through different persons. like Rapido services, or they may be sending in the personal office boys to deliver it to the customers in turn in their local area. So this consists of the entire process, supply chain. Successful retailers do many things. The three things which they have to do is, first, the retailer must identify its target market segment and offering preferably in those segments with the growing demand. And the second thing what they have to do is divide the segment based on some categorization. And the third is that retailer must establish a sustainable competitive advantage, rarely in price sufficient to compete, and must be more to be offered. And you can see that Walmart uses its size to bargain hard for low prices. Even the Reliance is doing, Fresh is doing that. And while offering a very wide variety of products, and Costco buys in bulk when a good deal opportunities come along, carrying a much narrower product assortments. And Costco and Walmart emphasize the low prices. But they have to argument this with the other aspects of the retail mix also. What are all the various dimensions we study through the research papers or various researchers, which is enhancing the smooth flow of supply chain? The first and foremost thing is the research indicates that competitive positions built on various or the virtues like brand, style, reliability, or the availability or result in best financial performance than the positions built on lower prices. The authors also surveyed the return on assets, the ROI, to up to 25,000 companies, and they published a report which is traded in US Stock Exchange from 66 to 2000. That was a remarkable study which is made in the supply chain. Then the next is the top tier miracle workers, wherein the top 10% in terms of return on assessment or the return on assets. In initial categories, these were Abercrombie and Fitch, Ringley, Waze, Markets, and Maytag. All had non-price strategies, and none had simple price-based strategies. So these studies contribute to physical information and financial flows, which are frequently cited as supply chain dimensions. However, the common viewpoint of the supply chain as a purchasing or the physical distribution network is limiting. Information and the financial components are often as important as physical flow of goods in the supply chain, as are reverse flows that go in the opposite direction also. That should also be taken into consideration. What will the inputs of these research, which is supply chain management, talks about? Often the omitted from supply chain dimensions is the role of knowledge inputs into supply chain process. So what about the knowledge transformation? Here that we should concentrate. Knowledge is the driver behind new products and new processes, the source of growth through innovation. Designing supply chain processes or new products, which is required coordination of intellectual input, the design with physical inputs and other things. In the retail industry, such knowledge can be produced better designed and more user-friendly and more stylish products. Increasingly, products sold to consumers rely on software to distinguish them from such features are currently highly influential in the market conditions. The knowledge component of our definition includes that the software transformation, that is how these softwares are moving from one place to other place, this knowledge transformation, which is a part of service. Organizations experiencing turnover have particular challenges in managing the knowledge component. So when you are doing a supply chain concept, you should also talk about the knowledge component, which is facing a lot of challenges. An article concentrated on passing knowledge in distribution, which is described as OPTI. It is an acronym. OPTI means it is nothing but observation, O, P is practice, and the another P is partnering and taking responsibility. So these are all the OPTI concept of knowledge distribution. The technique calls for internal experts, especially the senior experts, acknowledge that the mentor aspiring newer employees interested in their area of expertise. The recommended interaction include observation, practice, joint problem solving skills, and delegating the responsibility. The knowledge is assembled in the knowledge book with the sections on topics like craft specifications, concepts, process, history, technical know-how, and the evolution. Another framework for passing on knowledge applied to the areas where the firm doesn't know what it knows. That model is, we call it as the mask model, method for analyzing and structuring the knowledge. Like APTI, acknowledged internal experts, perhaps more than 100 in an organization, who may not be aware of the knowledge they hold and they are queried. So the knowledge is assembled into a knowledge book with the sections on topics, and it will be evaluating the various concepts, process, history, and other forms of the knowledge transformations. The supply chain should support the satisfaction of the end requirements or the end user requirements. That is the main motto of this. And these requirements give rise to the fundamental mission of supply chains, matching supply and demand. As noted in my earlier videos or in my earlier discussions, there may be a range of customers or the end user groups who constitute market segments. An integral part of supply chain management is tailoring a supply chain network. That means you have to concentrate, plan, you have to sit and work out, sketch it out, put a blueprint on it, tailoring it supply chain to satisfy the varying needs of these segments what you are dealing with. Then the definition of the supply chain. A supply chain also has multiple linked suppliers. From the customer to the end user viewpoint, the supply chain exists when there are multiple enterprises backing the last link that delivers the product or the service. So under this definition, the neighborhood grocery would not constitute a supply chain, while a chain of grocery shops would. So this is what we have to understand from this definition. See, as mentioned previously, the supply chain has two-way flow. So many consider supply chains only in terms of forward flow from suppliers to the end users, but SCM defines take and limited sourcing logistics flavor. For the physical processes, this is largely true, but supply chain design must include backward flows for products, returns also. Payments and rebates, replenishments, orders, repairs, or any damage returns and other reasons. The European Union has passed regulations that hold companies responsible for the disposal of the products they sell. For example, the electronic goods, the computers, the electrical goods which they are selling out. In the Western countries, they are taking it back. The company, those who are selling, must take their products back after it is worn out, or if there is any repair which cannot be used for longer duration. They should take it as a recycling of the products back. Even the refrigerators we can see in so many houses now, if it is not working, it is not used, and it cannot be repaired, we will keep that as a cupboard. Keeping the dresses or the medicines or something like, we will use it as a cupboard. But this cannot be thrown out even. Sometimes people are throwing out, especially the electronic goods like microwave oven or the other things. Even the mobile phones, we can still witness so many people are still having the first mobile they bought it, which is now not at all used, or which is not at all can be thrown by the people. So the companies are not buying back or getting back those type of materials for recycling. So we should concentrate on the backward flow of those materials. Nowadays it is very much needed that these materials are creating a lot of waste in the industry. And the products they have sold it, they are very much responsible for the recycling. Or else they have to appoint some other agency for the recycling. Then services also have the supply chain. So many concepts of supply chain is applicable to the service industry also. We should not talk only about the products concept. We should also talk about the service concepts. Production planning for the research and development departments, which produces designs, not products, can benefit from the same techniques used by the product manufacturers. So Federal Express and United Parcel Service. Now you can see Gati Parcel Service or the ABT Parcel Service, TVS. So these the UPS operate service businesses, but they employ complex supply chains to move customer shipments. A software company like Microsoft is changed or challenged to continuously improve its product through upgrades, like upgrading versions, so that it has to supply chain have its own supply chain for its knowledge based products. These concepts, especially the services, have the supply chain problem, and they should in turn talk on that. Information planning of supply chain, especially the generic supply chain model. So many slides you might have been witnessed is like this in the earlier studies, but the same thing, information planning, especially from the both the ends, should be taken care of. Number one is starting from this side, the raw material part of it, the suppliers will be sending the raw material, 1, 2, 3 other things. So the intermediaries, the producers of the raw materials, they will be getting through intermediaries, and the end product will be reaching the manufacturer. And after producing the product, again they will be sending it to the wholesalers and the distributors, which will send back to the retailers. These are all the people those who are in the retail chain, and these retailers will reach the end customers. So this is what the information flow, otherwise called the generic supply chain model. This is what happening in the industry. Typical supply chain for the manufacturer. So the supplier 1, supplier 2, supplier 3, they will be sending the material. The manufacturer will store it, and one by one they will manufacture it, and after manufacturing, the finished goods will be stored, semi-finished goods will be stored, and after completing all the packing, labeling, everything, they will distribute to the distributors. And the distribution channel once again starts with the wholesaler, dealers, etc., etc., district wise or segment wise, and the retailers will get at last, and they will redistribute to their customers. This is the service supply chain. The supplier 1 and the 2 is available. They will store the material like Gati parcels, ABT, all those things I gave you, PLL and other things. So the storage service, they will be offering it, and they will reach the customers. And what is the supply chain management? Management talks about two important definitions: the design and the management of seamless value-added process across the organizational boundaries to meet the real needs of the end customers, which is given by the Institute of Supply Chain Management. This definition is. And the second definition by the Supply Chain Council is managing supply and demand, sourcing of raw materials and parts, manufacturing and assembling, warehousing and inventory tracking, order entry, and other management like a distribution across all the channels, and delivery to the end consumer or the customer. So this is what the supply chain definition of supply chain council. The importance of supply chain management. Firms have discovered value enhancing and long-term benefits. Who benefits most? We should find out. Firms with large inventories, firms with a large number of suppliers, firms with complex products or the product supply, and customers with large purchasing budgets. So these people get a lot of benefit out of this supply chain management. And the lower purchasing as well as the inventory cost, higher quality, customer service, these are all the benefits of this supply chain. The importance of the supply chain management covers the cost saving and the better coordination of resources or reasons to employ supply chain management. So bullwhip effect, the magnification of safety stocks and the cost based on separate forecast and the uncoordinated planning and sharing of information along the supply chain. Reducing the bullwhip effect, it occurs through process integration. Interdependent activities can lead to improved quality. That means reduce the cycle time, better production methods, better forecast, less safety stock, etc. So we discussed here two important major concepts of bullwhip effort, which is integrating, and the magnification of the safety stock. So integration process starts with this, and this is what we call it as the bullwhip effort. And important elements. What are all the elements the supply chain management consists of? As usual, like the general management, it is also having the elements like purchasing, operations, distribution, integration, etc., etc. So when we are talking about the purchasing, they have to do the alliance with the suppliers, and they have to manage the supply with different types of suppliers, where I have to go for strategic sourcing. Operations point of it, demand management, MRP, ERP, just-in-time, TQM, these things we have to concentrate in ACM element. Then about the distribution management, talks about customer relationship management, network design, service response logistic, etc. Then integration part of it, coordinating, integrating of different types of activities which is in and around these type of supplying, purchasing, planning, operating, etc. And also the measurement of the performance. When you are talking about the purchasing, long-term relationships like supplier management, improved performance through supplier evaluation and supplier certification, determining the supplier capabilities and performance, and third party are the internal certification to assure product quality and service compliance. Strategic partnership starts with successful and trusting long-term relationship with the top performing suppliers. These are all the main focus, the main elements we should assess in the purchasing. Then about the operations dimension or the operation element. Demand management, match demand to available capacity, then linking buyers and suppliers via MRP or ERP, enterprise resource planning systems, management resource planning systems, and also you have to adapt the JIT, just-in-time policy, to improve the pull of materials to reduce inventory levels. Employing of TQM, total quality management, to improve quality compliance among buyers and the suppliers. Distribution talks about transportation management, trade-off decisions between cost and timing of delivery, customer service via trucks, rail, water, air, etc. And the customer relationship management strategies to ensure deliveries, resolve complaints, improve communications, satisfy the customers by solving their grievances, giving feedback through the media or the postings of criticisms, and determine the service requirements. Network design talks about creating distribution networks based on trade-off decision between the cost and the sophistication of distribution system. It depends upon the area we have to design this. And the integration part. Supply chain integration, when supply chain participants work for common goals, requires intra-firm functional integration based on efforts to change attitudes and adversarial relationships. Global supply chain integration talks about the main advantage of that is accrue from sourcing from larger global markets to lower the cost, the higher quality suppliers, the variety of latest updates, and technology wise improvement and other parts. So may involve operating exposure, which is risk found in foreign settings, and supply chain performance management, which measure crucial for performances are the firms to know its procedures are working. They have to check it and there whether the procedures are working in this regard, or if it is not working, we have to remodify the integration system. So these things are, we call it as the distribution, integration, planning, and the operations are the main elements of the supply chain management concepts. Let's talk about the objectives of supply chain management. Supply chain management concerned with the efficient integration of suppliers, factories, warehouses, manufacturers, and stores, so that merchandise is produced and distributed in an efficient and easy timing in the right quantities as well as to the right locations at the right time. This is what the main objective. Then in order to maximize total system cost, satisfy the customer service requirements, face global competitions and improve standardization, we should have supply chain management. The major objectives are right time, right quantity in the right location, supply of materials from one end to the other end. So the concept is very clear. The objectives what we discussed is very well known to us. They have to talk about the integrating the people in various areas like the suppliers and the factories, warehouses, the distribution channel members, the store agents and the merchandisers on the line, or otherwise the people of retailers and other commission agents, etc., to minimize the total system of cost and also to satisfy the customer service requirements and to face the global competitions and also to improve the standardizations. Now, these are all the points we should keep it in the mind regarding the. To conclude this video, we should summarize the following points. Just you have to listen the takeaways. The retail supply chain has many players and most certainly is more than stores. In fact, stores are the proverbial tip of the iceberg. A network of distributors, service providers and the manufacturers supports each point of sale, and the type of these points of sale have multiplied nowadays either through e-tailing, that is online retail, as well as in the offline. In many cases, the ties between these contributors are quite loose, elastic in nature, with trading partners living in different worlds. Although these worlds have been converging to meet today's needs, they are trying to meet out the immediate orders which they are getting from various nook and corner of the globe. So the mission of this particular statement, that is the supply chain management, is to provide a piece of advice and assistance to those charged with bringing those worlds into their closer circle. This will enable them to bring the people, those who are in many other countries or any continent, to become their customers. Another main objective is to assist supply chain participants, those who are playing an active role in understanding each other's role, and they should flow in such a way that they should not have in between quarrels among themselves or delay in the process or misunderstandings, or there should not be any stagnation of material. That should be ensured. And the business needs should be very carefully tackled by the people, otherwise the supply chain participants. That will enable a better world of supply chain in the retail industry especially. We will discuss the other concepts in the next video. Come on, learn along with me, and please play all the video fully, listen to it, answer the questions, and also the materials which are supplied to you in PDF will enrich further learnings about this particular concept of supply chain management. We will meet you in the next video. Thank you very much.